Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Baseball on the USPBL YouTube channel. Today, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers will take on the Westside Woolly Mammoths in another cross-conference matchup. Hi, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. My name is Leo Ortel, broadcasting solo today to bring you the call on Reptile Day and Parent Appreciation Day here at Jimmy John's Field. Last night, Westside took on Utica as the Mammoths triumphed with their 5-4 victory as they took sole possession of second place from the Unicorns. It was a great offensive day for the Westside lineup as Dan Williams provided the spark with 2 home runs, as did Ethan Whisker with a solo shot of his own. Mammoths come in to this ball game now with the 17-16 record as they will send Ben McKendall to the bump for his 7th start of the season. In 6 impressive starts this year, Ben McKendall has posted a 4-1 win and loss record with a 1.32 ERA over 34 innings of work. He's given up just 5 earned runs, walked only 7, and struck out 29 as opponents are hitting just .244 against him. On the other end of things, Eastside comes in with the worst record in the league, 4th place in the standings that are pretty close. Only 4 games below 500. The Hoppers come in at 14-18. For them, it will be Colby Neely, making his 6th start of the year and his 9th appearance overall. You can expect Colby Neely to come out throwing strikes as he has a very high strike percentage on the year, but he has posted an 0-2 record, a 4.70 ERA, 30 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 16 earned runs, a pretty good strikeout to walk ratio, 26-15. Opponents are hitting just .219 against him, so he's going to look to keep guys off the base paths as he usually does. We'll take a quick look now at the starting lineups for each team. For the Hoppers, it will be Pat Adams leading off and playing center field, 2nd in the league in average and 1st in on-base percentage, as his on-base percentage is sitting currently at .516. Just an incredible season so far from Pat Adams. Freddie Geely, the Troy, Michigan native, will be batting 2nd. He'll be at his usual spot at second base. It'll be Luke Johnson in right field, 6 home runs on the year, 2nd in the league. Riley Mahalik batting 4th. He'll be the DH. Bradley Hamilton, the newcomer, has played 2 games, 3 for his first 6. He'll be doing the catching duties for the Hoppers. Wesley Jones will be batting 6th. He's playing third base as C.J. Huntley batting 7th. He's in left. Zachary Gray at first. He's batting 8th, and rounding out the order is Kevin Watley playing shortstop as he was the USPBL Defensive Player of the Year in 2018. And for the Mammoths, Sonny Cortez leading off. He'll be playing second base tonight as he's usually in the outfield. We'll get to who will be in his spot in the outfield towards the bottom of the lineup here. Ryan Dobson will be playing shortstop, batting 2nd. He's risen his batting average considerably. He's now hitting .310. Will Johnson will hit 3rd and play left. Jake Polshin at 1st. He's batting cleanup. Dan Williams will be the DH tonight. Ethan Whisker playing right field. He's batting 6th. Javon Shelby, player of the week last week. He's got 4 home runs over his last 5 games. He'll be at 3rd. Jackson Smith will be doing the catching duties, batting 8th, as Drew Kitson will make his return to the USPBL after dealing with injury for the past couple months. He'll be in center field as Cortez is usually in center. Great to see Drew Kitson back in the USPBL. But with the national anthem about to get underway, we'll take a break on the USPBL YouTube channel and be back after the break. And another great rendition of our nation's anthem here on this beautiful Sunday for Baseball, Reptile Day, as well as Parent Appreciation Day. Shout out to all the parents in attendance in this afternoon's game. We should be in for another good one, as it'll be the home team, Westside Woolly Mammoths, taking the field first, as Ben McKendall will make his 7th start of the year. He comes in tied for first with his 4 wins. He's got a 4-1 record in just 6 games so far. He also comes in first in the league with his 1.32 ERA, second in the league in walks per 9, just 1.85 walks per 9 innings, third in the league in whip with a 1.12 mark. He's pretty much been pure dominance for Westside so far this season. I was talking with Brian Cluppy, the manager of the Westside Woolly Mammoths, before the game started at the USPBL media desk out in front of the stadium, and Cluppy's been really impressed from what he's seen from a couple of his new starting pitchers. Is obviously Ben McKendall has been dominant over his 6 starts, but also Matt Cronin, another good start for him last night against Utica as he earned the win, as it was a great offensive day for them too, but this 1-2 punch at the top of this Westside Woolly Mammoths rotation has really fit in nicely. Both Ben McKendall and Matt Cronin contributing to the team ERA overall, which sits at 4.19, the best mark in the league by far. As now baseball about to get underway here at Jimmy John's Field, as it'll be Pat Adams digging into the box here to lead things off for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, who do have a struggling offense. Their .240 batting average as a team ranks 4th among the 4 teams. And also their 15 home runs rank 4th as well. So not too good of marks here for this Hoppers offense, but they are coming off a big offensive day against the Unicorns, a 7-5 win on Friday, in which they tallied 9 hits, 9 walks, and only 4 strikeouts in that game. We'll take a quick look at the Mammoths defensive alignment, but first pitch about to get underway here from Ben McKendall. It's that 4-seam fastball at 87 right on the outside corner, as it's for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Will Johnson in left field. Drew Kitson returns as he's in center field, as that pitch will miss outside. 1-1 count here on Pat Adams. Ethan Whiskers in right, Javon Shelby's at third, Ryan Dobson and Sonny Cortez up the middle in the infield, Jake Pulshin at first, as that breaking ball, looked to be that slider from McKendall, skips in. It's now a 2-1 count, as Jackson Smith blocked that pitch. He's doing the catching duties, part of that battery, along with Ben McKendall, as it was supposed to be Jake Barbie, but there was a lineup change made, as Pat Adams sends one deep out to right field. Ethan Whisker turns around, and that ball is gone. Pat Adams' 3rd home run of the season, not wasting any time here, as Eastside will take the 1-0 lead. Pat Adams has been perhaps the most consistent hitter in this league, 2nd in batting average coming in with a .368 mark. Only had 2 home runs on the season. We know the power's there. Great signs here early on for this Eastside lineup and for Pat Adams, getting it started with the solo shot over the right field wall as Freddie Geely stands in. As McKendall goes back to that changeup that time. He only works with 3 pitches, the 4-seam fastball, the changeup, and the slider, as he goes back to the fastball there, 86. Not the hardest throwing pitcher out there. He is a right-hander, but the 4-seam fastball will come in about 67% of the time, which is a mark that you would like to see be a little bit lower, but McKendall's proven that he can pitch the way he does with his ERA being so low at 1.32. Back to the changeup there at 82, missing outside. He'll use that changeup about 25% of the time, and then the slider that we saw earlier in the at-bat to Pat Adams, only 8% of the time, as Geely sends one up the middle into center field for a base hit. This is a great start for this struggling Hoppers offense. At swinging the bats early on today, they're looking strong. I was actually talking to Freddie Geely as well before the game. Of course, the Troy, Michigan native, attended Siena Heights University, always happy to represent the local area, coming to us from also my hometown in Troy, and really has enjoyed playing under manager Paul Noce. And I talked to him about flip-flopping in the lineup, because we've seen him in the lower parts of the lineup. We've seen him in the 2 spot. I said, which do you prefer? Does it matter? And he said it really doesn't matter to him. He doesn't like to think about it too much. And obviously his mental approach to the game has really helped him so far this season, as Adams and Geely are a good 1-2 punch at the top of this lineup with some good speed. And Luke Johnson behind him now standing in complements them very nicely with his power. He's got 6 home runs as he lays off that first pitch. He had the 3-run shot in the 7-5 win against the Unicorns as McKendall, keeping tabs on Geely, throws over to first. Geely is back in safely, but Johnson 1 for 3 with that 3-run shot as well as 2 walks in that game against the Unicorns. He provided the spark as he earned player of the game. He sends one this time deep out to right field. Ethan Whisker on the warning track, having some trouble with it, but he comes up with it. That one didn't look like it was going to go very far off the bat, but the wind is blowing out towards right field right now, as Whisker does rein it in for out number 1, but some good swings early on for Eastside. Paul Noce has to be happy with the start to this ball game. So Adams leads it off with the home run. Geely with the single up the middle, as Geely, who dives back in safely now to first. Ben McKendall continuing to keep tabs on him as Johnson flies out to right. It's Riley Mahalik standing in for his first time. The DH in this cleanup spot for Eastside, left-handed bat. He lays off that one there. 3 of the 4 bats at the top of this lineup for Eastside are left-handers. Adams, of course, a lefty. Geely, a lefty. Johnson, the righty. Riley Mahalik, a lefty. So lefty stacked. Definitely good against a right-handed pitcher like Ben McKendall. Jackson Smith, nice block behind the plate. That fastball skipping in. Command really hasn't been too much of an issue for Ben McKendall so far this season, as he's walked just 7 batters over 34 innings. Really good marks for McKendall this season so far. And his control early on, not where he wants it to be, as he's now behind another hitter, Mahalik, with the 2-0 count. The 2-0, that one's in there for a strike. A changeup left over the heart of the plate a little bit higher than he probably would have liked. Mahalik, I'm guessing, was thinking fastball on that one, or else he could have given that one a ride. Mahalik through 9 games, hitting .310. He's got more RBIs than games played, as he's got 12, coming off a 2 for 3 effort as Geely takes off. The throw down from Jackson Smith is in time, as Geely will be caught trying to steal second. Nice throw from Jackson Smith, the Westside catcher, and that's going to be out number 2. Count now 3-1 on Mahalik, so it is a good hitter's count, and actually, I'm not sure if we saw the correction from the home plate umpire. No, I believe it is 3-1. Mahalik coming off a 2 for 3 game with a run scored and 2 walks. 9 games, .310 average. He's fit in nicely to this Hoppers order, and he's really helped them off offensively and has the ability to take pitches as he lays off the 3-1, and he'll earn himself another walk. So the command just not there so far from McKendall. Some hard-hit balls already, and that will be the first walk issued by Mahalik. Never good to walk a batter, but especially with no outs or 2 outs, so a 2-out walk surrendered here as Bradley Hamilton, the former Kent State product, will stand in. 2 games played for him so far, 3 for 6, coming off a 2 for 3 game with a walk and an RBI on Friday against the Unicorns. I also spoke with Bradley before the game as he lays off the first pitch. A fastball at 89, the fastest we've seen from McKendall so far, but missing below the knees. I was talking, like I said, with Hamilton before the game. Obviously, the catcher trying to adjust to the new pitching staff for Eastside, but also adjusting to hitting as he fouls one off of himself. As he'll walk it off there as the count runs to 1-1. But the biggest adjustment that he said from playing at Kent State into professional baseball has been using the wood bat. He did play in some summer leagues, so some experience with some wood bats there, but he said it's definitely an adjustment that he has to make, but he's made a pretty good adjustment so far, I'd say. 3 for his first 6, 500 average. McKendall throws over as he's trying to now keep Riley Mahalik on first base. As we take a look at the numbers here, Mahalik 2 for 2 on the base paths. The Hoppers definitely one of the more aggressive teams, as McKendall definitely knows it out there. Paul Noce, a very aggressive manager, likes to use the underrated running game to his advantage, as the 1-1 misses low and outside. Smith staying busy behind home plate so far. He's had to make some nice stops back there to help out his pitcher. Hamilton made his debut, started in the outfield, but has played the last couple of games at catcher. That one is in there for a strike. Fastball in the outside corner. That's pretty much what you'll see from McKendall when he's got that fastball on point. He's able to hit that outside corner. Obviously not very good velocity, but a fastball that does have some pretty good movement on it. So 2's all across the board here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. McKendall from the stretch. He deals. Good hold off there from Hamilton. Thought about the swing, but able to hold back as he works his way into the full count. He's really had some good at-bats like this since joining the USPBL, showing already some signs of maturity at the plate, and seems to be pretty comfortable. Does tend to crowd the plate as the runner takes off here on the 3-2, and he'll walk him again. So back-to-back walks here issued with 2 outs. The first to Mahalik and the second to Hamilton. Mahalik's coming on the 3-1 count. Hamilton's coming on the 3-2 count, as Wesley Jones will try to provide another offensive spark here, I should say. He's hitting in the 6th spot, the third baseman for the Hoppers. Comes in top 10 in hits in the league, but pretty low batting average, 243, and one that will not walk too often, as he only has the 297 on-base percentage. Just 7 walks over 136 at-bats. So Jones is a guy that looks to put the ball in play. Not a lot of power either, as he doesn't have any home runs, but does have 4 doubles. So first and second here for the Hoppers. McKendall in a little bit of early trouble. That one in there for a strike. Looked to be the changeup once again. He'll throw that about 25% of the time, but it seems like McKendall's trying to mix it up a little bit more. Obviously, he left that mistake over the heart of the plate to Pat Adams, who sent one over the right field wall if you weren't tuning in to lead off this game. So we'll look for McKendall to use that off-speed stuff more. As he goes back to the fastball there, rolls one over to Sonny Cortez at second, who fires over to Polshin to complete the out there. So Ben McKendall able to work out of some trouble, but Pat Adams gets the offensive production started for the Hoppers today as he leads off the game with a home run. As after a half inning of play, we've got a 1-0 ball game. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, everyone, to the USPBL YouTube channel. Colby Neely will make his 6th start of the year and his 9th appearance overall for Eastside, the former Los Angeles Dodgers organization product. Played a couple games last year for Eastside as he threw in 3 games overall. Sonny Cortez leading off, pops one over to the left side as Kevin Watley makes a nice over-the-shoulder running catch for out number 1. First pitch swinging and the first out here for Colby Neely. So far this season, Colby Neely has posted the 0-2 record of 4.70 ERA, 30 2/3 innings pitched for him, as he's given up 16 earned runs, 26 strikeouts to 15 walks. Opponents are hitting just .219 against him. When I was talking to Freddie Geely, the Hoppers' second baseman, I pretty much said to him, what can we expect from Colby Neely this afternoon? And he said, expect him to throw strikes as he throws an 85-mile-an-hour changeup. It looked like to Ryan Dobson, a strike to start this at-bat. Dobson, one of 5 guys in this Mammoths lineup hitting above 300 as he's 8th in the league in average, coming in with the 310 mark as Neely misses that one outside. But Dobson has really picked up the batting average. We saw him hitting in the 2 spot early on in the season, and then when he was struggling, moved down into the 9 spot as kind of that double leadoff hitter, 76-mile-an-hour pitch that time, missing below the knees. But he's fought his way back into this 2 spot. Batting average was sitting around 240, but has risen up above 300 now, as Dobson has a lot of speed, too. Sends one up the middle this time into center field. That's going to be a base hit, and that puts a threat of stolen bases on first base as Ryan Dobson leads the league with 11 this year. As we'll take a look at how many attempts Dobson has. He's got 11 attempts, so perfect 100% on the base path, just as Alec Craig was before he moved on to the Minnesota Twins organization. Alec Craig, who only played in 9 games, was 11 for 11, 100%, of course, on the base pass as well. But the biggest stolen base threat in the league on first, as you see Colby Neely knows it as he checks on him at first, but he's back in safely. It'll be Will Johnson in the 3 spot here for Westside. His first plate appearance here, 329, 2 home runs, a 402 on base as Neely checks on him again. But Will Johnson coming off a big 4-for-4 game last night against the Unicorns, all of them singles, but the Mammoths were led by 3 home runs, 2 of them from Williams and 1 from Ethan Whisker. But you got to have guys on base to score as well, and that's what Will Johnson did, as the first pitch to him at 87 misses. Actually, that one in there for a strike, as late call there from the home plate umpire. So Neely working from the stretch here. He's got Dobson on first. He's been keeping tabs on him as he deals Will Johnson, skies one into right center field. It looks like it's going to be Pat Adams calling off Luke Johnson as the center fielder takes charge out there for the second out of the inning now. So not a bad start to the outing here for Neely. Seems to be finding the strike zone how he wants to. He'll have to deal with the cleanup hitter Jake Pulsion, who's quietly having a very good season. He's hitting .317 with 3 home runs and 15 RBIs, and his on-base percentage ranks in the top of the league, .453. He is coming off a tough 0-for-4 night last night against the Utica Unicorns, but a new day brings a new opportunity here for Pulsion. First pitch, fastball at 88, missing high and inside. Neely not a guy that throws very hard either, but a lot of experience under his belt. Of course, like I mentioned, with the Los Angeles Dodgers organization, he was able to reach full A ball, and he tallied a .357 ERA in the minors with 27 strikeouts over 35 and a third innings. So kind of surprising to see that he was released by the Dodgers, but Neely's definitely a guy that if he can find the strike zone, use his 4 pitches effectively, can make it back up to that next level, as the 2-0 pitch missing a little bit high that time. Home plate umpire not giving him the call on that one, so quickly a 3-0 count on Pulsion. We'll see if he'll be taking here or if he'll have the green light. And he takes that one, 90 miles an hour, the fastest we've seen from Neely so far, which is surprising to see on the 3-0 count. Usually you'll see a pitcher take something off on the 3-0, but knowing that Pulsion's one of the best hitters in this league, Neely giving it a little bit extra on that one, is 89 miles an hour that time. Jake Pulsion fouls it off. So now a 3-2 count as one of the speediest guys in the USPBL, Ryan Dobson, who's on first, will be on the move. Here comes the 3-2. That one misses high, and he walks him. So obviously, Neely a strike thrower. Not a whole lot of walks for him, just 15 walks over 30 2/3 innings. But he walks him that time. As we saw, McKendall struggling with the walks in the top half of this first inning, and now in the home half, Colby Neely can't find the strike zone. And looked to be a good comeback for him after starting him off 3-0, but he loses him there. As Dan Williams, who hit 2 home runs last night, will stand in. I also spoke with Dan before the game, and he obviously started off the season with the Utica Unicorns and has made this transition over to the Westside Woolly Mammoths. It hasn't been the smoothest transition for him, as the home plate umpire says. I'd say called strike there. Not sure if it was a swing attempt there, but Williams tonight in the 5 spot as the DH. Like I said, has struggled, only batting 164 with Westside, but came up with a big home run as he sends one into the right center field gap. That one's going to get down for a base hit. Ryan Dobson coming around third. The throw-in from Pat Adams is cut off by Zach Gray, the first baseman, as the beer batter of the game. Dan Williams gets it done again to tie this one up at 1. As if you're down in the bathrooms or up in the suites, $5 craft beer, and there's a Tuna Beer Garden down the left field line. Be sure to check out the deals there, as the beer batter of the game promotion will, of course, be in Dan Williams' first 3 at-bats if he gets a hit. So he gets the hit there, but more importantly for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, ties this game as Ethan Whisker will stand in. He'll try to produce here with the first and third opportunity. First pitch, off-speed one, a good one from Colby Neely. Looked to be that changeup that he throws about 17% of the time. 4 pitches in his arsenal, like I mentioned. The 4-seam fastball, 53% of the time he throws that. The slider comes in at about 18%. The changeup just behind that at 17%. And then the curveball at 12% as he throws the fastball 90 miles an hour, the top speed he's thrown tonight. Excuse me, I should say this afternoon. We've seen him throw 90 a couple of times. Ethan Whisker coming off a 2-for-3 game as he had the home run last night against the Unicorns. It was early on in the ball game. Takes a hack at the 1-1 on another off-speed pitch at 82. Whisker, who kind of started off the season slow, has really picked it up. .330 batting average with 4 home runs now. He's third in average and also third in RBIs, as he's now got 24. And on-base percentage coming in, .409. Former Hillsdale College Charger, of course, as he lays off the pitch there. 2-2 count. Neely working out of the stretch here with first and third, trying to escape this jam. Won't do it here as that one misses way outside. An easy take there for Whisker. Another full count here, as we did see the full count walk for Jake Polshin, as Polshin standing on third. That's, of course, Dan Williams on first after his game-tying single. So Williams will be on the move as well as Polshin. It won't matter for Polshin too much, but Williams will get the head start. If Whisker can drive a gap, could see Williams score from first. Here comes the 3-2. This one sent deep into left field. The left fielder chasing back, and that ball is gone. Ethan Whisker, with his second home run in as many games, just snuck over the left center field wall, as C.J. Huntley may have thought he had a play on it but didn't. Whisker gives the Mammoths the lead here, as that's a 3-run shot, 4-1 ball game. A line shot, that one got out of here in a hurry on the 3-2 count. Another big swing from Ethan Whisker. He had the home run last night early on in the ball game. Ended up being a difference maker, as Westside only won by 1 run. But this one, even bigger here, the 3-run shot, gives the Mammoths a 3-run lead as Javon Shelby, another power threat, standing in. Another player that I spoke to before the game, Shelby, of course, coming off the Player of the Week honors. He had 3 home runs last week and already has 1 this week, as he lines one foul down that right side as he's quickly down 0-2. But the power numbers have really picked up for Shelby. He comes in with 7 home runs, tied for the league lead with Jimmy Latona, the catcher of the Unicorns, and then Ross Haffey, the first baseman of the Beavers. Shelby only hitting .217, but still comes in with a 3.32 on-base percentage as he lays off that pitch there. Way outside again from Neely. Both pitchers seem to be struggling with their command early on. Shelby is coming off an 0-for-4 effort last night, but definitely comfortable with the way that he's been approaching his at-bats lately. Here's the 1-2. Good breaking ball, but a better take there by Shelby, as it appeared to be that curveball. Neely does not use his curveball a whole lot, only 12% of the time. Mainly uses that four-seamer, coming in at 53%. Here comes the 2-2. This one sent softly off to the left side as C.J. Huntley charges in. He'll make the running catch there, finally for the third out in this inning. But the Westside Woolly Mammoths come up big here. A single from Dan Williams ties the ball game, and then Ethan Whiskers' 3-run shot makes it 4-1. A lot of offense early on in this one. After one inning, Westside in front, 4-1. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, everyone, to the USPBL YouTube channel. Leo Ortel on the call, broadcasting solo this afternoon. C.J. Huntley, who ended the inning with a nice catch in left field, will lead off here for Eastside as Ben McKendall, out there now for his second inning of work, skips in the first pitch on the fastball attempt. A tough inning for McKendall as far as control, as Pat Adams led off the game with a home run on the mistake fastball that was left over the heart of the plate from McKendall, as he continues to struggle with his control, skipping in yet another pitch as Jackson Smith is really having a tough game there behind home plate, having to help his pitcher out quite a bit. But then a couple of walks later in the inning to Riley Mahalik and Bradley Hamilton did go unscathed as McKendall was able to escape out of the jam. Another pitch skipped in, 3 in a row now by Ben McKendall, and it's something we don't say too often here. The walk numbers, like I said, coming in for McKendall, very good. Just 7 walks over 34 innings. As the 3-0 pitch will miss outside. Another walk. 4 straight balls to C.J. Huntley. 3 of them in the dirt. As he issues the leadoff walk. Another good start to the inning for for Eastside. So McKendall, who came in with just 7 walks, now has double-digit walks on his season total with 10. He had a 1.85 walk rate per 9 innings, which was good for second in the league. a guy that throws a lot of strikes, a guy that also throws a lot of fastballs. If that four-seam fastball isn't there, he's only got 2 other pitches to help him out, as Zachary Gray takes the first pitch fastball on the outside corner, but McKendall will throw that fastball just under 70% of the time, 67% of the time. He mainly uses the four-seam and the changeup. He'll throw the changeup 25% of the time so far this season, and then the slider only 8% of the time. Looked like another fastball there. Tried to take something off it to find the zone, but misses outside. And when McKendall has missed, the misses have not been close. Easy calls for our home plate umpire. The 1-1, good changeup there from McKendall, fooled Gray as he was thinking fastball. Zachary Gray hitting .243. He is second on the team with his 18 RBIs, but a guy that doesn't walk a whole lot. 11 walks this year, over 123 plate appearances. The 1-2 skips in. C.J. Huntley takes advantage of it here as the throwdown from Jackson Smith hits off of, I believe, Ryan Dobson. C.J. Huntley will move up to third as the throw in there from Sonny Cortez, who was trying to help out Will Johnson, who didn't think that throw was going to get to him on the throwdown from second. But C.J. Huntley will move up 2 bags here as the defense not helping out Ben McKendall in this situation. So a stolen base, and then C.J. Huntley able to take third, as now all Zachary Gray has to do is send one over to the right side, and he could score him. This pitch gets past Jackson Smith, another ball in the dirt. Not a bad try there from Ben McKendall, but Smith continuing to stay busy behind home plate. I'd say the toughest position on the field has to be catcher. I did a little bit of catching back in my playing day. Obviously, nothing like it is in professional ball, seeing pitches at over 90 miles per hour, but it's been tough back there for Smith this afternoon. Full count here to Gray. This one fouled off to the right side just by a few feet. Gray would have had extra bases definitely on that one, and it would have scored Huntley from third. Second full count we've seen in this game. Bradley Hamilton drew the walk in the first on the full count. And there it is. Ground ball to the right side. Sonny Cortez makes the play to Pulsion for out number 1. But Zachary Gray gets the job done as he drives in his 19th run of the season. He makes it a little bit closer here as Eastside scores in back-to-back innings. It's now a 4-2 game. Exactly what you need to do in that situation. Softly over to the right side. Sonny Cortez, who was already pretty much playing in shallow right field. He kind of had Gray shifted, but that's exactly what Paul Noce ordered up right there. See what Kevin Watley can do. Batting average has dipped for Watley. He's hitting just .211. Does have a couple of home runs this year. Ben McKendall with the fastball skips it in once again as Smith makes the backhand grab. Watley was 0 for 4 in the game on Friday against Utica as he takes that pitch. 85 in there for a strike. 1-1 count now with 1 down. Watley did draw a walk and ended up coming around to score in that game on Friday. 77 miles an hour that time. Looked to be the slider from McKendall. Didn't have much movement on it, but in there for strike 2. And from the windup, the kick and the push, the 1-2, back to that slider. Hangs that one a little bit higher than he wanted, but at least missing the zone. As it's now 2-2, the wind blowing out very strong to right field. As the release on that pitch, not where McKendall wanted it to be, as he lost the grip on it. Another fastball attempt. Another full count, back-to-back full counts. We'll see if he can retire Watley. The 3-2, and that one hits the outside corner. First strikeout for Ben McKendall as the home plate umpire helps him out that time, but Watley not disputing the call. Probably knows he should have swung the bat, but was headed towards first to at least try to help his cause to draw the walk, but doesn't do it, as the lineup will flip over back to Pat Adams, who led it off with a home run for the Hoppers back in the first inning to start this ball game. But he'll bat here with 2 down. Ben McKendall misses the zone there with the fastball. And Pat Adams, a guy that is pretty aggressive at the plate, but also very disciplined as well. As this one, not sure what the official call will be. We have an appeal down to the first base umpire there from the home plate umpire. As the home plate umpire says no swing, 2-0. But Pat Adams has the best walk rate in the league. 22% of the time he walks, but he's hitting .368 now with 3 home runs after his solo leadoff shot over the right field wall. 3-0 count as he takes another one. 3 straight balls. We've seen 3 3-ball counts now in this inning. Pat Adams now will draw the walk. Highest walk rate in the league. Pat Adams came in with 34 walks over 34 games. He'll now draw his 35th in his 35th game as he continues to get on base. Second time on base technically for him, as his on-base percentage well above 500, .516. Freddie Geely will work with 2 down. Ben McKendall keeping tabs on Pat Adams, who has 5 stolen bases in 8 attempts. He was caught stealing on Friday against Utica late in the ballgame. Another pitch that skips in. This one gets way past Jackson Smith as Pat Adams now rounds second after taking off from first, but stays put on second, at least puts himself in scoring position for another chance for Eastside to strike. Geely singled into center field in his first at bat. Did not come around to score. The 1-0 pitch in there, first strike. Back to the fastball for McKendall. Geely comes in hitting .275 with 9 RBIs, a .344 on-base percentage. I talked to him before the game, and like I said, he doesn't care where he hits in the lineup. He doesn't think about it too much. He's obviously always trying to get on base and doesn't let the position that he bats in the lineup affect his game. Definitely a very humble guy, a local kid that likes to represent the local area. Troy, just about a 20 to 25 minute drive away from Utica if you're from out of town. We do see quite a few local players in the league, and it's always nice to have some hometown kids, and the fans definitely recognize that. And Freddie Geely was thankful that the people of Utica and the surrounding Metro Detroit area recognize that too. He's definitely happy with his opportunity to play under Paul Noce here in the USPBL after attending Siena Heights. Kind of a lower level of college baseball, but Geely hit .444 his senior year. Impressive mark in any league that you play when you're able to hit above 400. 2-2 count after back-to-back foul-offs from Geely. McKendall back to the fastball, the highest velocity we've seen from him that time. He would have liked it a little bit over the plate, more so than he threw it, but another full count. That's the 4th 3-ball count we've seen now in this inning, and Pat Adams will be on the move. He's got a good lead on second. This one is grounded to the right side. Sonny Cortez feels it there, throws it to Pulsion, and that will be out number 3. But Eastside does put up 1 run. Zachary Gray grounds out as C.J. Huntley scores after a stolen base to second. He was able to advance to third. So Eastside does cut the deficit here. It's now a 4-2 ball game. We'll head to the home half of the second when we return on the USPBL YouTube channel. And to the home half of the second we go. Colby Neely will face off against Jackson Smith in his first plate appearance. Swinging at the first pitch, he fouls one off the protective netting, and it skips over the netting. Turns into a souvenir for a lucky fan. Smith was not supposed to start in this game. It was supposed to be Jake Barbie, but a game-time decision moved Jackson Smith into this 8th spot as he's doing the catching duties for Ben McKendall this afternoon. He lays off the pitch there to make the count 1-1. Smith is hitting .244. He's got 1 home run and 6 RBIs. Uses the no batting glove approach, an open stance that he ends up closing up as he swings that one into the glove of Bradley Hamilton, the Hoppers catcher. A 1-2 count. Neely definitely struggled in the first inning. Gave up the RBI single to Williams after the walk to Pulsion and also a single from Dobson. And then eventually, Ethan Whisker sent one just over the left field wall for his now 5th home run of the season, 2nd in the last 2 games, as he's really upping his game offensively, which is definitely no surprise after coming off USPBL Player of the Year last year. He was the best offensive bat in the league as Jackson Smith rolls one over to Zachary Gray. He can't make the play. That one takes a nasty hop over his head. Nothing he could have done on that one. That one should go as a base hit for Jackson Smith as he leads off the home half of the second with a single. And now it'll be the return of Drew Kitson, who we haven't seen since the beginning of this season. It was in the first or second week of the year that Drew Kitson made an all-out effort in center field and ended up injuring, I believe, his rib cage as he was out for several months. It's great to see him back in the lineup as he check swings on the first pitch. Kitson was only hitting .240, but was driving in runs pretty well for Westside as he was hitting towards the top of the lineup for them. Kitson does have some power as this is now his 2nd year in the league, and he had 7 home runs last year. Grounds one. Colby Neely gloves it there. Flip to Watley at second to first. Not in time as Kitson will reach on the fielder's choice. A nice play there by Colby Neely, and it looked to be a miscommunication between Kevin Watley and Freddie Geely. Usually the shortstop will cover on a ground ball to the pitcher. It looked like Geely got there before Watley, but Watley ended up taking charge as he had to spin around to try to get Kitson at first. But Kitson with good speed, able to reach first base on the fielder's choice as Smith is retired on the ground out. The lineup flips over. Sonny Cortez, who swung at the first pitch and popped out in his first at-bat, will give it another crack here. This time lays off 79 miles an hour. The changeup from Colby Neely. And actually, it looks like, yeah, that will be a base hit ruled officially for Jackson Smith. There is 1 error in this ball game up on the board for Westside. Not sure which one that was, but Sonny Cortez in this at-bat is quickly down 0-2 as he fouls that pitch off. Cortez does tend to foul quite a few pitches off. He definitely works deep into counts, has some really good at-bats. Won't work deep into a count here. Rolls one to Gray. Steps on first for 1. The throw to second. The tag not in time from Kevin Watley, but a nice heads-up play by Zach Gray to try to get 2 as Cortez will be retired for the 2nd time. Now 2 down, but Drew Kitson is able to advance to second. So in steps Dobson, single to center in the first inning as Ryan Dobson continues his good season, a .310 batting average, fouling off the first pitch in this at-bat here. 1 home run, 11 RBIs. Like I said, really has picked up the batting average. The former Arizona Diamondbacks product. He was playing some affiliated ball for them. He started off very strong as he was in short A ball with the Diamondbacks. He hit .363, got promoted into full A, but struggled there hitting just .192. He was a 30th round draft pick by the D-backs just about 3 years ago. The 0-1 pitch. Check swing by Dobson as he could not hold back. Another 0-2 count as Neely looks a little bit stronger in this inning than he did in the first. He couldn't really find the command as he walked Polshin, left some mistake pitches to Williams and Whisker, who took advantage, but just the one single in this inning. As Dobson grounds one over to Whatley. Nice backhanded play. The throw to first in time. Beautiful play there by Kevin Whatley, as that will retire the home half of the second. So 4 runs for Westside in the first. Eastside had 1. And in the second, Eastside scores 1, but Westside not able to strike. We've got a 4-2 ball game after 2. Don't go away. This is the USPBL YouTube channel. Luke Johnson will get things started here in the top half of the third inning, taking the first pitch there in there for a strike from Ben McKendall. McKendall with 2 earned runs through 2 innings, as there is 1 error up on the board for Westside. It was the throwing error as C.J. Huntley was able to advance to third, but that run will still be charged to Ben McKendall. The 1-1 pitch below the knees, missing to Luke Johnson, the power bat in this lineup for Eastside. He's got 6 home runs, good for second in the league. He's also driven in 19. Luke Johnson, of course, had the big 3-run shot as he was player of the game on Friday versus the Unicorns. The Hoppers put up 9 hits, 9 walks, and only struck out 4 times. The offense has definitely stepped it up this week, and they do have 2 runs today through 2 innings, so pretty good numbers for them so far. But are trailing Westside 4-2 as the 2-1 pitch hits the zone that time. McKendall already with 4 walks through the first 2 innings, which is something that we really haven't said so far this season. The most walks that McKendall had in any start was 3 in 5 innings, but has really kept his walk numbers down. Luke Johnson fouls that one off on the 3-2. We've seen a lot of 3-2 counts and 3-ball counts in this game. McKendall, with his command, just not able to get ahead of hitters. But this is now the 3rd time that he's faced off against Eastside, and this is the first time that Eastside has really gotten to him early on. Luke Johnson lays off that pitch, but that one hits the zone as Ben McKendall will get his 2nd strikeout. Both of them looking as not Zachary Gray, but Luke Johnson definitely not happy with the call there as he's voicing his opinion to the home plate umpire. It'll be Riley Mahalik who walked in the first, standing in for the 2nd time. Mahalik drew the walk on the 3-1 count in the first. He lays off the 87-mile-an-hour fastball, missing on the black outside. So like I said, this is now the fourth time that Ben McKendall has faced off against the Hoppers, as he's thrown 17 innings against them this year coming in and posted very strong numbers, as he's only given up 2 earned runs and struck out 12 batters among those 3 starts. Mahalik behind here, 1-2 as he fouls it off. So back on June the 26th, only 1 earned run over 6 innings against the Hoppers. On July the 7th, it was no earned runs over 6. And then his most recent start is Mahalik grounds one up the middle. That one's into center field for a base hit. But McKendall's last start, which came against Eastside on July 19th, 5 innings, just the 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts and no walks. He's got 2 strikeouts through 2 1/3 innings so far, but 4 walks. And the Hoppers swinging the bats well. Mahalik earns the 1-out single. As Bradley Hamilton, another player that's walked in this game, will stand in for the second time. McKendall keeping tabs over there on Mahalik, who, like I mentioned before, is 2 for 2 on the base paths so far. First pitch skips in. Jackson Smith with another good block behind home plate. Been saying that often in this game so far. Hamilton 3 for 6 through 2 games so far. 2 for 3 with a walk and an RBI on Friday against the Utica Unicorns. Flies this one into center field. Looks like it's going to be Kitson under it as he backtracks at the last second there with the wind blowing out to right center field to make the catch, as that's now out number 2. So Hamilton retired for the first time via the fly out to center field, as it's going to be Wesley Jones with 2 outs. He was batting with 2 outs in the first with some runners on, but was not able to get the job done, as the Hoppers have left 3 on base through 2. Another pitch in the dirt from McKendall. Another good block by Jackson Smith to save him there, as that is ball 1 in the at-bat on the first pitch. Jones hitting .243 at .297 on base, 1 for 5 against Utica on Friday, but did drive in a run. Lays off that time. Smith thinks about throwing down to first, but Riley Mahalik back in before Smith decided not to make the throw. McKendall behind another hitter here just does not seem to have command of that 4-seamer today, which he throws almost 70% of the time. Wesley Jones out to right field. Whisker makes the catch, as he didn't have to move much for that one. So a clean inning for McKendall for the first time. Does give up the 1 hit, but leaves 1 on. As we head to the home half of the third, Westside in control here as they lead 4-2. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back to the USPBL YouTube channel. Leo Ortel on the call here. Will Johnson get things started here for Westside. They're leading 4-2 as he lays off the first pitch, but it's in there for a strike. Neely with the 4 earned runs through 2. Good breaking ball right there. Looked to be the slider from Colby Neely. A clean inning in the second. Gave up the single to lead it off, but ended up getting out of the inning unscathed. Back to the fastball. Tries to get him chasing, but good discipline from Johnson to lay off as it's now 1-2. Johnson comes in with his .329 batting average. Good for 4th in the league. He's got 2 home runs and 10 RBIs. Takes that one as Bradley Hamilton wanted the call behind home plate, but does not get it. Johnson also with a .402 on base. A perfect 4-for-4 effort last night against Utica. 0-for-1 thus far. The 2-2 sent down the left field line. Foul by about 10 feet. As Johnson was out in front of it, he'll look to straighten one out. The 2-2. This one flied over to the right side. See if it's going to be a play, kind of in some no man's land, but this one gets out of play as Gray, Geely, and Luke Johnson ran out of room down that right field side. Johnson, the Atlanta, Georgia native, attended Eastern Kentucky University, played his redshirt senior season in 2019. He hit .303 with 16 home runs, 47 RBIs, and also walked 56 times. Good for a .440 on-base percentage. He played a couple of seasons at Eastern Kentucky University. As this one is sent over to the right side. Didn't hit it hard, but it falls as Luke Johnson was kind of in right center field, not really playing down the line. Could not make the play on that one. Well, Johnson will get the leadoff single as the Mammoths look to strike again. It's going to be Jake Polshin, who walked in the first on the 3-2 count, which is the only walk issued so far by Colby Neely. Polshin also with a great batting average, .317, 7th in the league, as the Mammoths have 5 guys in their lineup hitting above 300. 78 miles an hour that time. Either the slider or changeup from Colby Neely in there for a strike, so enough confidence in his breaking ball to throw it. First pitch here, as Johnson not much of a speed threat on first. Polshin lays off that time. Back to the breaking ball for Neely, this time just missing outside. Polshin is one of the more disciplined hitters in the USPBL. 21 walks over the 123 plate appearances. As he lays off again, it's now 2-1. Johnson has only 1 stolen base attempt, but it was successful for him as he's 1-for-1 on the base paths. Another breaking ball, the third now in this at bat in 4 pitches. Neely frustrated with himself there. 3-1 on Jake Polshin, quietly having a very great season in this stacked Westside Woolly Mammoths lineup. The 3-1, that one misses outside. Polshin knew he had the walk right away as he takes the leg guard off, drops the bat, and heads down to first. Not what you want to do in that situation, as it's now 1st and 2nd with no outs. Bradley Hamilton goes out to talk with Colby Neely. Of course, Bradley Hamilton just joining the team this week, still getting used to working with some new pitchers, but he was the catcher at Kent State University down in Ohio. Put up some good numbers there. And I was talking to him about that adjustment, both offensively and defensively, before the game. He settled in nicely and grateful for the opportunity, but still says that it is an adjustment to get used to some of these new pitchers, but it's something that he had to do in summer ball, as you don't see the guys that you play with in summer ball a lot different than catching in college. You'll only see them usually for a season, so it's something that Bradley Hamilton's definitely used to. is back into the at-bat here. It's Dan Williams with first and second, as he had a single into right center field in the first to drive in the first run of the game for Westside, which tied it, and then eventually Ethan Whisker's big 3-run shot made it 4-1, but Eastside came up with one in the second, as we've now got our score 4-2. Williams is behind 0-2, a better at-bat already here for Colby Neely. Hamilton calling for one outside, and that one's delivered outside. This one sent over the head of C.J. Huntley. It hits the wall, and this should definitely score one. The throw in from C.J. Huntley to third, as Will Johnson will score from second. Dan Williams gets it done again, an RBI double, as it's now second and third. But Westside puts up another run here. It's a 5-2 game. So Dan Williams, who had 2 big home runs last night for Westside and led their offense there, as he had 4 of the 5 runs driven in, is producing once again for Westside in this game, as he's 2 for 2 with a single, a double, a couple of RBIs. Paul Nochi now out there talking to Colby Neely, as Bradley Hamilton and the rest of the infield out for a mound visit, the first we've seen in this game. Colby Neely did not have a good start against the Beavers on July 20th. He went just 2 2/3 in that one. Only gave up the 1 earned run, but threw 49 pitches, as it was a short start that time. Eastside would have liked to have seen him go the distance in this one, but pitch count definitely rising, as we do see now some action in the Eastside bullpen. That's number 40, Rabin Martin, one of the Hoppers' 2 left-handed pitchers on their staff. He's just getting up and throwing right now. And it's going to be Ethan Whisker. So Paul Nochi knew the situation that was going to come about here. Ethan Whisker's already got the 3-run shot in this game. Wanted to calm down Neely before this at-bat to make sure that he didn't make another mistake pitch to him, but only time will tell to see what happens, as this one's grounded over to the left side. It's called a foul ball by the home plate umpire. Whisker sent one just over the left field wall, which is a pretty tall wall out there. It was more left center field, but good for his 5th home run of the season. And Whisker came up big yesterday with the solo shot in his 2 for 3 game. Along with Williams, Whisker produced the only run outside of Williams, as combined they drove in 5 of the 5 runs for Westside in that victory. Whisker already with 3 of the 5 runs driven in with his 3-run shot. Check swing, appeal down to the infield umpire, says no swing, as the count evens at 1. So Whisker seems to have gotten past his early season struggles, as he wasn't really showing off any power either with his low batting average, but he's really picked it up. Fouls off the 1-1 pitch to make it 1-2. Whisker's now 3rd in average in RBIs, as he's got the .330 average coming in. Now 5 home runs and 27 RBIs. A guy that could hit in the 3 or 4 spot, hitting in the 6 spot. You could see him get promoted, but can't get it done this time as he swings through the 1-2. That's the first strikeout for Colby Neely, who had 26 strikeouts through 30 2/3 coming in. Earns his 27th there for out number 1. Just the first strikeout, but a big-time one there, as Whisker beat him the first time around, but Neely beats him this time. It's going to be Javon Shelby. He ended the first inning with his flyout into left field. Shelby, 3rd in slugging with the .530 mark, top 10 in RBIs. Lays off the breaking ball there. The slider from Neely misses the zone. Shelby has 7 home runs now, one of them this week. It was a grand slam earlier in the week. He's now tied for first in home runs with Jimmy Latona and Ross Haffey. Shelby was the player of the week last week. This one is sent down the left field line, not very deep as it's going to be out of play. Shelby, of course, played with the Oakland Athletics organization. I was talking with him before the game about his affiliated experience. He was able to kind of take those experiences, bring them into the USPBL. He was struggling at the beginning of the year, but has picked it up. He's hitting in the bottom part of the lineup and knows that he's got a lot of protection in front of him and behind him, and it's something that I talked about. He was raving about the way that his offense has performed lately, and that's really led to a lot of the success for Westside. Their offense really can't be topped by any other offense in the league. The .268 average is good for first in the league. 26 home runs is third, but Westside timely hitting, definitely one of their strong parts of their game. Shelby fights off the 1-2 to stay alive. A good swing. So Williams is on second. That's Jake Polshin on third. Another tough inning for Colby Neely, trying to escape another jam. The 1-2. Hamilton does not get the call. Shelby just lays off. Hamilton held it there for a while. Home plate umpire not cooperating with Eastside for that one. See if Shelby can come up big here. Wind is still blowing out to right center field. The 2-2. Fouled off again. Colby Neely will have to try it again. Very good at bat here for Shelby, who does have the highest strikeout rate in the league, but some of the best power numbers. Tends to swing big and tries to come up with big hits for his team, which he definitely has over the last couple of weeks. Here comes the 2-2. Check swing attempt. Home plate umpire says he went as Hamilton tags him there. Second strikeout in as many batters for Colby Neely as he tallies that second K. Big time there with second and third. Jackson Smith, who singled into right in his first at-bat, gets another crack at it here. Back-to-back innings with at-bats as he started off the second with his single. It was a chopper over to Zach Gray. Would have been an easy play, but it took a nasty hop on the dirt as it went over his head. No play on that one. Smith swings through the first pitch, gets past Hamilton, but not enough there for Jake Polshin to score. Five runs on 6 hits for Westside, 2 walks to accompany it. Smith fouls it off. 0-2. That mound visit from Paul Nochi definitely paying off. A couple of strikeouts since the mound visit. It seems like he was able to calm him down, get him reset. Colby Neely now looking for his third strikeout in the last 3 at-bats, and it would be big here with the second and third situation. Here comes the 0-2. Grounded foul down the right side. About 5 feet foul of that right field line. Smith, of course, in his second season, he hit .277 last year in 42 games with 4 home runs. He's got just the 1 home run this year and hitting .244. Attended Corbin University. Smith into right center field. See if Johnson has a beat on it, and he does. Makes the catch just shy of the warning track. Jackson Smith grabbing the left side of the back of his leg there. Hopefully he's going to be okay, but that one does end the inning as we will head to the 4th. 5-2, Westside in the lead as Dan Williams extends the lead in this inning with the RBI double. We'll be right back on the USPBL YouTube channel. And to the fourth inning we go. We've played 3. It's a 5-2 ball game. Westside in the lead. C.J. Huntley lays off the first pitch here as Jackson Smith is behind the plate after it looked like he went down with some type of leg cramp, but runs it off and he's okay, as it seemed like his leg just tightened up for a bit. Huntley lays off again. It's 2-0. He drew the 3-0 walk, 4 straight balls from McKendall in that at bat as he finally sees a strike in his second plate appearance, 2-1 count. Huntley then stole second, advanced to third on a throwing error, and then came around to score on the Zachary Gray ground out to make it a 4-2 ball game. Now 5-2 after a Dan Williams double. 3-1 count, the second 3-ball count that Huntley has seen, and now his second plate appearance. Huntley over to the right side, Whisker chasing back. He'll make the catch just shy of the warning track. A good swing from Huntley, just didn't place it where he wants to. 1 down. As it'll be Zach Gray, who did have the RBI in the second inning, the ground out. Huntley began that inning. Zachary Gray followed him. Gray, another left-handed bat in this lineup. A lot of lefties in this lineup from top to bottom. Gray lays off the first pitch from Ben McKendall. Pat Adams, Freddie Geely, Riley Mahalik, and Zachary Gray. 4 out of the 9 hitters are lefties, which is pretty rare to see. Of course, a lot more right-handed bats in baseball than left. The 2-0 misses upstairs. McKendall looked pretty strong in the third, did not give up any runs, and just the 1 hit as the Hoppers stranded that one. And the 3-0 misses the zone. 5th walk now issued by McKendall. He had just 7 walks through 34 innings, and that's now 5, and he's not even through 4. So Gray looks at 4 straight. It's going to be Kevin Watley who went down looking on strikes. It's the only strikeout that McKendall has. That was back in the second. Watley, the 2018 USPBL Defensive Player of the Year, lays off the first pitch as he shows bunt and pulls back. Looks like Paul Nochi is going to try to use the sacrifice to advance Kevin Watley, not Kevin Watley, but Zachary Gray over to second as Kevin Watley's trying to advance him over. Normally you wouldn't see that with 1 down, but Pat Adams is waiting on deck. Swinging this time, Watley swings through it. A pitch that looked like it would have been a ball missing outside, but Watley turns it into a strike with the swing. Watley hit .205 last year, not too much better this year, hitting just .211. McKendall checking on Zach Gray on first, anticipating possibly another sacrifice after the swing and miss. Gray doesn't have any stolen base attempts. The Hoppers have 44 this season. But Watley swinging away this time, sends one deep into left field at the wall. This one's gone. That one carried out of here, the wind helping it out a little bit, but Kevin Watley, who had 3 home runs last year, tallies his 3rd this year, as that is a 2-run shot, and this is now a 1-run ball game. It's 5-4. Kind of a towering shot for Kevin Watley. Didn't hit it that far. Another wall scraper, but Will Johnson turned around and just kept on watching it. Could not make the catch. The wind definitely helping out the hitters a little bit in this game this afternoon. But it's been the long ball for sure for both teams. Pat Adams, who's now standing in, had the long ball to start it off as he takes the first pitch strike. We've seen the 2 home runs for the Hoppers. Top of the lineup, bottom of the lineup, Watley and Adams. Middle of the lineup for the Mammoths is Whisker had the 3-run shot. Pat Adams is behind here 0-2. Led off the game with a home run in the first and then walked in the second on 4 straight. Different at bat this time around. Calls time to reset himself. McKendall had given up just 1 home run coming into this game. It was all the way back on June 19th, so it had been over a month since he had surrendered a home run, and he's already given up 2 in this game and also walked 5. So not the day that McKendall obviously envisioned, either, or the same case, I should say, for Brian Kluppy, the manager now of the Westside Woolly Mammoths, and also a good pitching coach, too. Pat Adams grounds one. This one finds a hole into center field as Sonny Cortez couldn't make a play on it. Pat Adams continues to just be perfect up there at the plate. He reaches for the 3rd time in 3 at-bats. We've seen one position player make it out of the league this year. It was, of course, Alec Craig of the Westside Woolly Mammoths, who posted some incredible numbers as he hit .483. And Pat Adams is a guy that definitely could reach the next level if he continues to have a season like he is. But for now, it looks like the day is going to be done for Ben McKendall as Brian Kluppy takes the ball from him. So we'll tally up his final line, tell you about the guy coming in when we return on the USPBL YouTube channel. We have a pitching change here as we are in the top of the 4th. A day done for Ben McKendall as the ball is turned over to the lefty, Tyler Schmidt. McKendall finishes his day 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 walks, and just 1 strikeout as Geely takes the first pitch and then fouls off the second. He's down 0-2. Tyler Schmidt came in last night's game with the bases loaded and was able to record the out, but has not had a good start to his USPBL career. An 8.10 ERA over 10 innings. He's given up the 9 earned runs, walked 10, and only struck out 6. But a good performance last night. This one skips about 4 feet in front of home plate. A good stop by Jackson Smith. He's made some really good stops in this afternoon's game to keep runners from advancing and scoring, as Smith is definitely a great defensive catcher. Geely's down 1-2. Pat Adams is on first. The 1-2. Fouled off again by Geely. Geely is, not 0 for 2, but 1 for 2. He singled in the first as he was retired for the last out in the second, hitting .275, 9 RBIs, no home runs for him. Not really known for his power, as the outfield does tend to play pretty shallow against him. Schmidt tries the 1-2 again. This one misses below the knees as the count evens at 2. Schmidt attended Missouri Baptist University, was a hitter and pitcher there. Pat Adams takes off. This one lined to the left side. Will Johnson makes the catch, and now the throw to first is in time. Will Johnson with the outfield assist to turn the double play. Tyler Schmidt and the Mammoths escape this inning. The hit and run does not pay off for Paul Nochi, as we'll head to the home half of the fourth. This ball game now 5-4 after Watley tallies the 2-run shot. We got a good one. Don't go away. This is the USPBL YouTube channel. And we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Colby Neely removed from the game by Paul Nochi. The lefty Rabin Martin takes over. He'll face off against Drew Kitson in his return for Westside after he broke his collarbone on a diving catch. Good to see him back in the lineup. He fouls off the first pitch. Colby Neely finishes his day with just 3 innings, giving up 6 hits, 5 earned runs, walking 2 and striking out 2. Not a good performance for him. 2 tough starts for him in a row. But a good lefty for Eastside. Rabin Martin taking over. A 3.58 ERA for him so far through 16 relief outings. 27 2/3 innings, 26 hits, 11 earned runs, and 9 walks to 31 strikeouts. Opponents against him hitting just .241. Been the best relief pitcher for Eastside and the most consistent. That last pitch, the breaking ball, just 67 miles per hour on the gun, drops it in on the outside corner to Kitson. 0 for 1 with the ground out. Fielder's choice to shortstop. He did reach base. 240 coming into the game. 1 home run, 5 RBIs. Lays off the 1-2 as the count evens at 2-2. Kitson had only faced a couple of lefties before his injury, just 2 at-bats against left-handers, but was 1 for 2 as he fouls off another pitch. Like I mentioned, too, the second year for Drew Kitson, a big power bat for Westside last year, as he put up 8 home runs in 48 games, also 11 doubles. He'll draw the full count here, 3-2. The first batter that Martin's facing off against. Kitson out of Wentzville, Missouri. Missouri Baptist University, NAIA baseball. The 3-2. This one over to left field. It's deep, and you can forget about it. Drew Kitson, in his return to the USPBL after his injury, goes yard in his second at-bat and makes it a 6-4 ball game, a no-doubter for sure. So we knew we had the power. Kitson with 8 home runs last year tallies his second of the season, drives in his 6th run. And he's going to prove to be a big bat in this already stacked Westside lineup. Excited to see what Kitson can provide for Westside as we continue throughout this season. A big hit for him, and I'm sure that one feels good after missing so much time to get that first hit, but also your first home run in the return, second of the year. As Sonny Cortez takes the first pitch that he sees for a strike. Cortez 0 for 2, looking to get on for the first time after a pop out and a ground out. Breaking ball fouled off. Cortez didn't want to swing at that one, but the barrel a little bit too much over the plate. An inside curveball there from Raven Martin. The 0-2. Skips in. Good take by Cortez. Not a guy that's going to strike out a whole lot. Cortez with just 20 strikeouts and 126 at-bats. A great on-base percentage. Second on the team at .452, only behind Jake Pulsion, but top 5 in the league in on-base percentage. Another pitch in the dirt there. Another good take. As it's now 2-2. Cortez 5th in average in the league, .325, also 4th in RBIs with 23. We've seen him primarily bat in this leadoff spot, but also was hitting in the 3 spot when Alec Craig was in this lineup. Martin works from the stretch even with no runners on. Here's the 2-2. Not sure if Cortez got a piece of it. Looks like he didn't. Wait for the official ruling, but it looks like we have a 3-2 count. That one hitting off the glove of Hamilton. It was hard to tell from this perspective if it hit off the bat of Cortez or the glove of Hamilton, but Cortez did not get a piece of it. Another full count. Back-to-back at-bats here with full counts. The 3-2. Fouled off again. Cortez, this is what he likes to do. Puts up these good long at-bats, fouling off a lot of pitches, usually late swing attempts, but one that will make contact a lot. "27 walks through 33 games. And now Paul Nochi having a word with the infield umpire. And I'm not sure if he got tossed from the game, but he's definitely frustrated with one of the calls out there in the face of the infield umpire. Doesn't look like he's been tossed yet. And now, walking past the home plate umpire, but now having a word with him. Not too sure what he's voicing his opinion over. Might be arguing if that was a foul ball for Cortez. It looked like it may have hit off his bat, but it was ruled a ball. And it doesn't look like he was tossed from the game. He's going to go back to the dugout here. Pretty animated for Paul Noce, but now going back out to the home plate umpire. Raven Martin will get loose as he's throwing with Kevin Watley to keep his arm warm. Paul Noce now walking behind home plate. And it looks like maybe he was tossed from the game. Looked like he was maybe voicing his opinions early on in the Hoppers dugout down that first base line, and he was tossed before we even saw him come out, which is why he was so infuriated with the infield umpire. So he's been removed from this ball game, as Von Joshua will most likely take over as manager, and Cortez will go down on strikes. Another breaking ball bends in the zone. Cortez didn't like it, but Raven Martin will rack up his first strikeout. So Martin has been using that breaking ball well. Made the mistake to Kitson. Brian Kluppy, the third base coach, and now Westside Woolly Mammoths manager, is now talking with the home plate umpire to work something out, but he stays calm. So one down, it's going to be Ryan Dobson, 1 for 2. Singled into center in the first. He came around to score on the Ethan Whisker 3-run shot. A lot of offense in this game, 6-4. As we're in the bottom half of the fourth. Dobson, one of 5 guys in this lineup hitting over 300, along with Sonny Cortez, Will Johnson, Jake Polshin, and Ethan Whisker. So 5 of the top 6 above 300, and that's why Westside has been able to have so much success. They also use the long ball to their advantage when they can, just like they did last night against Utica. 3 home runs, 2 for Dan Williams, 1 for Ethan Whisker, and those 3 swings were all that Westside needed to beat Utica 5-4. Two and one against Dobson. Wind still blowing out a little bit into right center field, but not quite as strong as it was early on. 3-1 count now. That's 3 3-ball counts in a row since Martin has entered this ball game. 1 run across on the Kitson solo shot to begin the frame. The 3-1. Fouled off by Dobson. Mammoths putting up some good at-bats. Cortez with a good at-bat, but ends up going down looking on strikes. But Dobson is putting up a battle here. Dobson has 7 walks through 138 plate appearances. The 3-2. This one misses low, and he walks him. So first walk issued by Raven Martin. Colby Neely had issued 2. A good at bat there for Dobson, earns the walk as he reaches for the second time. That's a 1-out base runner for Eastside, for Westside. As it'll be Will Johnson standing in. A 4-for-4 game against the Unicorns last night with 4 base hits. He also has a base hit in this game. He led off the third with 1. It was pretty shallow out into right field, and he didn't hit it very hard, kind of a looping fly ball. But with Luke Johnson's defensive positioning, he had no play on it, and he's pretty much in the same spot here. They've got Johnson played the pole. Infield in double play depth too, but a large hole in between first and second, as well as between right field where Luke Johnson is and that right field line. The 1-0 back to the breaking ball. Bradley Hamilton trots out to the mound. His pitcher's dealing with some difficulties in his third USPBL game and second behind the plate. But the Kent State University product seems to really handle the ball game well. Knows when his pitchers are struggling, knows when to make those mound visits. The 2-0. Missing again. So the fourth hitter up in this inning for Eastside, all of them against Raven Martin, who just came in to start the inning. And the fourth straight three-ball count we've seen. We've seen three 3-2 counts in a row. We'll now see a 3-1 count as he finds the zone against Will Johnson. Johnson fourth in average in the league, 329. 268 team batting average. The Beavers are second with 252. But Raven Martin will walk another in this inning. Back-to-back walks issued by him after the fourth straight three-ball count. So first and second, one down. It's going to be Jake Polshin, who's drawn 2 walks in his 2 plate appearances, 1 on a 3-2 count and 1 on the 3-1 count. The only 2 walks that Neely surrendered, but coming in just 3 innings of play. There's definitely been quite a few walks in this game. McKendall has walked 5 for Westside, and Tyler Schmidt has not walked any so far. But now between these 2 teams, 9 walks total. 66-mile-an-hour breaking ball bends in to the zone there. The breaking ball definitely seems to be there for Martin. It's the fastball that's giving him problems. Polshin continues to be an on-base machine for this team. 453 on-base percentage. He's now drawn 23 walks. The runners take off, and there's going to be absolutely no throw. Not only did the runners have an incredible jump, as they'll take second and third, that's Dobson to third and Will Johnson to second, but also combined with the breaking ball below 70 miles per hour, it's pretty much a guaranteed stolen base, and Bradley Hamilton had no play, but clearly there was some kind of timing thing that Westside was able to pick up on, as that one was called a strike, so it's 0-2, but now you've got runners on second and third. The situation ever more dangerous for Eastside, who's trying to stay in this ball game, already down by 2. Martin set. The 0-2. Just misses outside. Hamilton tried to bring it back in the zone. Once again, does not get the call. We've seen a pretty consistent zone from our home plate umpire this afternoon, and most of them going in favor of the hitters. We have seen some looking strike 3 calls that hitters haven't been too happy with, but for the most part, the zone has been very consistent. Here comes the 1-2. Breaking ball in the dirt, 68 miles per hour. A good stop by Hamilton. Keeps the runners at bay. Polshin up there in the top 10 in batting average, coming in 7th place as far as that category, but also in the top 5 with that great on-base percentage. The 2-2. Back to the fastball. Looked to be maybe the 2-seamer. Only 84 miles per hour. An easy take for Polshin, but was kind of inside in some self-defense mode. Kind of a check swing, but one that was pretty easy for Polshin to lay off. A very disciplined hitter. 3-2 count for him. So 5 straight 3-ball counts for Raven Martin. The 3-2. Swung on and missed as the catcher, Bradley Hamilton, holds on to that one. Polshin retired there. Second strikeout. First swinging for Raven Martin, but a big-time out number 2 with runners on second and third. As the beer batter, Dan Williams, will step in. He's made fans happy so far with 2 hits. So there's been the discount beer twice in this game with Williams' single and double, both of them scoring runs. See if he can do it a third time. Of course, $5 craft beers in the Zaytuna Beer Garden. If Dan Williams can get a hit here, that beer garden down the left field line, as fans, if you're up in the suites, down in the bathrooms, definitely take advantage of that offer on this great Sunday for baseball. Of course, Reptile Day, like we mentioned, we had some amphibians, some reptiles in the house, as well as Parent Appreciation Day. Shout out to all the parents listening and parents attending. Williams lays off the 1-0. It's now 2-0. Williams singled into right center field in the first, then drove one into the right center field gap for his double in the third. 2 RBIs for him after 4 of the 5 last night with his 2 home runs. The 2-0. That breaking ball, pretty devastating from Raven Martin. The change of speeds, very drastic. Fastball will come in at about 89, 90 miles an hour tops, but drops in that bender at 64 miles per hour. Really throws off the timing of the hitters. If you're not looking for it, it's going to be a tough one to hit. Here comes the 2-1. Back to the breaking ball. This time changes the speeds, ups it by 10 miles per hour, as that one was at 74, but can't find the zone. And I've said it quite a few times, but that's another 3-ball count. This is now the 6th hitter that Raven Martin has faced, and the 6th 3-ball count. It's just, he just can't find his way ahead of hitters, and it's now going to be a 3-2 count. So of those 5 3-ball counts, one of them has been 3-1 and finished technically at 4-1 with the walk to Johnson, but this is now the 5th 3-2 count of the inning, as Johnson should be on the move from second. It won't matter too much for Dobson on third to be on the move, but a single should score 2. The 3-2 swung on and missed, as Hamilton happy with that one as he squeezes that one for the 3rd strikeout of the inning. So some walks given up by Martin, as well as the leadoff home run to Kitson. It's a 6-4 ball game, but Martin strands 2 here as we head to the 5th. We're through 4. Great ball game so far. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Tyler Schmidt comes out for his 2nd inning of work. He faces off against Luke Johnson to start the 5th. 6-4 ball game. Good offensive days for both teams as the pitchers have struggled with their commands. A lot of walks in this game, but a lot of home runs too, as the 1-0 rolled over to short. It's Dobson making the play to Polshin for the putout for out number 1. It's something that we like to keep track of during the game. we always looked back to, of course, the players that have moved on from the USPBL into affiliated baseball. And pitching at the highest level of anyone so far that's moved on from the USPBL, of course, is Randy Dobnik. He's pitching now in AAA with the Rochester Red Wings. A great outing for him today as Riley Mahalik stands in and takes the first pitch ball. But Dobnik, who had a no-hitter going through 5, finishes with 6 1/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. As his ERA just 2.10 for Rochester this season. He's pitched well not only at the AA level but also at the AAA level, as he's in the Minnesota Twins organization, a team that's pretty stacked right now at the big league level as well as the minor league level. So hopefully we can see the first player called into the major leagues that's played in the USPBL, and Randy Dobnik once again making a case to do so, as he's really put up some strong numbers with the affiliates of the Minnesota Twins. So congratulations to Dobnik, another great outing, and best of luck to him in future ones. Riley Mahalik rolls one over to the right side. It's going to be Polshin taking it himself, as Schmidt was over there to cover the bag, but an easier play for Polshin to step on first quickly. Out number 2, 2 up and 2 down. Two down, it's going to be Bradley Hamilton, 1 for 2. Actually, 0 for 2, excuse me. He's also got the walk. He drew the 3-2 walk in the first. He flied out to center field in his last at-bat in the third. Hamilton, 2 for 3 against the Unicorns on Friday. Big game for him with the walk as well as an RBI. Catching in his second game behind the plate. He started in the outfield in his first. Still trying to make that adjustment into pro ball. He said the biggest thing for him was using the wood bat. That's been the biggest adjustment for him. But he showed his discipline, his maturity at the plate already as he lays off the 2-2. A 3-ball count, 3 straight balls issued by Schmidt, who has struggled with walks in previous outings. And this is going to be the first walk issued by him. Schmidt, who came in the fourth, as McKendall finished with just the 3 1/3. Got the double play line out from Geely after the hit and run. Recorded the first 2 outs of this inning, but 4 straight to Bradley Hamilton. He earns another walk. Good plate appearance there for him, as it's Wesley Jones standing in. Another miss there, so 5 straight balls now thrown by Tyler Schmidt. Wesley Jones 0 for 2, a ground out to second as well as a fly out. Both of them have ended innings. The first one ended the first. The second one ended the third. Another ball thrown by Schmidt. Can't seem to find the strike zone after getting the first 2 outs. The 2-0. Another one outside, but a throw down to first. Safe. Jackson Smith probably thought he had him there. A bang-bang play. Bradley Hamilton just able to get back to first, but a nice back pick attempt by Smith. 3-0 count, so that's 7 straight balls, and it's going to be 8. Wesley Jones will draw the walk. McKendall had walked 5 through 3 1/3, as Schmidt is through technically 1 inning so far. Walks his second. A lot of walks in this ball game on both sides, and the teams have capitalized well. Not a lot of guys left on base, and C.J. Huntley not looking to leave any guys on base in this inning. Takes the first pitch strike. Finally, Schmidt able to find the strike zone after 8 straight balls. First and second opportunity for the Hoppers to try to cut the lead as they're down by 2. The wind blowing out to right center still. Schmidt finds the zone there again. 0-2, a good paint job on the outside corner. Bradley Hamilton on second, Wesley Jones on first. Neither of them really being covered by any of the position players, able to get some good secondary leads. C.J. Huntley rolls one over to the left side. The pitcher, Schmidt, makes the play, throws to first, and they get him by a couple steps there. Nice play by Tyler Schmidt to help himself out. So after recording 2 straight outs, walks 2, but strands 2. As he gets Huntley to ground out, we're through 4.5 innings at Jimmy John's Field, a 6-4 ball game. It's going to be Whisker, Shelby, and Smith, 6, 7, 8, due up for Westside. Don't go away. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back to the USPBL YouTube channel. Thanks for joining along today. Leo Ortel on the call. It's Ethan Whisker who takes the first pitch strike from Raven Martin. Ethan Whisker, of course, had that big 3-run shot in the first. Good for his 5th home run of the season, his 2nd in the last 2 games, as he had the solo shot last night against Utica. Lays off that time. The count even at 1-1. Martin did struggle last inning. Kitson had the leadoff home run, and then Martin ended up giving up a couple of walks, but 3 strikeouts in the inning. Martin, who had pretty good strikeout numbers coming in, able to unconventionally strike out the side. Whisker lays off. Now 2-1. Martin had 31 strikeouts through 27 2/3, so striking out over 1 batter per inning increases that with the 3 Ks last inning. Whisker sends one out to left field. Huntley doesn't have a play on that one as this one rolls to the wall. The cut throw in to second, not in time. Whisker slides in safely. Another extra base hit for him, and Whisker, to say the least, is on a tear of late. Whisker had 2 hits last night. 1 extra base hit, 2 for 3 tonight. I should say this afternoon as we approach the 3 o'clock hour, but 2 extra base hits, the double, along with the home run, puts himself on second. Javon Shelby, who's 0 for 2, looking to come up big, as he did last week and earlier in the week. Shelby had 3 home runs last week to get himself the Player of the Week honors for the first time, but also had a grand slam. His second grand slam of the season came earlier in the week. Tied for first in home runs with 7, hitting just .217, but a pretty good on-base percentage, coming in at .337, lays off the 1-0, missing outside. Definitely a tough game for the catchers, so a lot of credit to Bradley Hamilton and Smith, who have handled their pitching staffs as well as they could have. They've made a lot of stops, a lot of 3-ball counts, some difficult situations, but they're handling the game pretty well. The 2-0 finds the zone, 89 on the outside corner. It's pretty incredible the way that Raven Martin's effectively able to change speeds. That fastball will come in, like I said, around 89, 90 miles an hour tops, but drops down to the lowest we've seen in this appearance, 64 miles an hour on the breaking ball. Really throwing off the timing of the hitters. 89 all of a sudden looks like mid-90s when you drop in the breaking ball like he does. 3-1 now on Shelby as he lays off again. Shelby will draw his walks, but a high strikeout rate, the highest in the league. One that tends to swing big, one that tends to come up big with big hits, but also swing and miss, as doesn't swing and miss on this one. Zachary Gray makes a nice play, running up on the pitcher's mound as he makes the basket catch, kind of playing around with Whisker, who gives him a smile as he headed towards second, and Whisker scurried back to second and then realized nobody was around him. But that's out number 1. Just having some fun on this Sunday as some rain starts to come down here. I don't know if we were expecting this in the forecast. Looks like play is going to resume for now. As I took a look at the forecast, rain was not supposed to reach Utica until about 5 o'clock, but you never know what can happen in Michigan if you're from out of town and tuning in. This is something that will happen from time to time in Michigan with the weather patterns. Smith standing in, lays off the first pitch. Whisker on second, 1 down. Smith trying to drive him in. 66 on the breaking ball after he started him off with the fastball. Misses high that time. Martin's been able to command that curveball pretty well in this appearance so far, which is now his 17th appearance this season. The 2-0. This one popped up. Looks like it's going to go behind home plate, turn into a souvenir as some young kids chase after it. Young fan able to get that one as it makes his day. 2-1 count. The 2-1. Breaking ball fouled off, 73, which seems like it would be his low, but Martin will go down to about 64 with the breaking ball, like I said, and he can really change the speeds of his breaking ball, ups it by about 10 miles per hour. It's pretty amazing the way he's able to change speeds, but it's effective for him. The 2-2. Breaking ball at 73, just misses the inside corner, trying to bend it in on Jackson Smith. The curveball, of course, coming out of the left hand of Martin, will curve away from the left-handed hitting Jackson Smith. The rain's starting to come down a little bit harder now. You can probably see a few drops on your screen. Full count, 3-2. Skied into the infield. Should be an easy play. We'll see who's going to call it. It's going to be Freddie Geely battling the elements this time with the rain coming down, but he makes the catch. So Whisker, who led off the inning with the double, now back-to-back outs here as Shelby goes down as well as Smith. It's going to be Kitson who started off the day for Raven Martin with the solo home run over the left field wall on the 3-2 count. But it looks like play will be delayed here as now the tarp's going to be put on the field. The grounds crew working hard to get the tarp on the pitcher's mound and home plate first, but the tarp will be pulled over the field as it's turned into a little bit of a monsoon here at Jimmy John's Field with the rain coming down hard. So we'll keep you updated through the comment section on the USPBL YouTube channel, but we'll go off air as far as voice for now. Be sure to keep tuned in on the comments to get an update for this game, but for now, we'll be back. Hopefully the weather will cooperate to finish this ball game. 6-4 ball game with now 2 down in the bottom of the 5th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back to the USPBL YouTube channel. Thanks for all those who have stuck around, but it looks like this game is going to be all said and done. The game has officially been called due to a severe weather warning in the area, not just the Utica area, but the Macomb and Oakland County areas, as this game will be completed. The Mammoths will, in fact, win this one by a final of 6-4. Technically, the game is complete because we are through 4.5 innings with the home team, the Westside Woolly Mammoths, up. Ethan Whisker will earn player of the game as he was 1 for 2 in his effort with the 3-run shot that drove in the 3 of the 6 Westside Woolly Mammoths runs. Technically, the 5th inning, the bottom half of the 5th, will not count with Whisker's double and also Javon Shelby and Jackson Smith's at-bats. So those ones will not go down in the record books, but otherwise, Pat Adams of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers had a solo shot as the Eastside Diamond Hoppers put up the 4 hits, but the Mammoths offense continues to absolutely outpour as Dan Williams also tallied 2 RBIs of his own with a single and a double. He finishes 2 for 3 as Drew Kitson, in his return to the league, was about to have another at-bat in the bottom of the 5th, but he finishes 1 for 2 with the solo shot. So some fireworks in this game as far as home runs. A pretty good one here at Jimmy John's Field, officially called as 5 innings technically of play completed, with the home team, Westside Woolly Mammoths, earning their 18th victory of the season. They remain in second place in the standings behind Birmingham Bloomfield, 18-16 for them, but the Hoppers drop to 14-19 as they are still in last place in the standings. Colby Neely of the Hoppers definitely struggled in his start. 3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts, as Colby Neely will be handed the loss in this one. Raven Martin gave up the 1 earned run over his technically 1 inning pitched, but did tally the 3 strikeouts. Ben McKendall went 3 1/3, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 walks, and a strikeout. Not enough for him to get the win as he struggled in his effort there. But Tyler Schmidt, who had a pretty decent outing, will end up picking up the win here. And as we take a look at the stats here for Tyler Schmidt of the Westside Woolly Mammoths, he picks up his first victory on the season. He moves to 1-0. So once again, we are all said and done here at Jimmy John's Field. Looking into next week, join us on Wednesday when the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers take on the Utica Unicorns in the So You Think You Can Sing day at the ballpark there, as it's 2-for-1 Wednesdays. So be sure to join us back on the USPBL YouTube channel for that one. And then working later into the week, Thursday, it'll be Birmingham Bloomfield against Eastside as our owner, commissioner, and CEO, Andy Appleby. It'll be an Andy Appleby bobblehead night. First 1,000 fans in attendance will get a bobblehead in that one. Also a Thirsty Thursday. Eastside versus Westside on Friday, a fireworks spectacular presented by Metro by T-Mobile, as well as Pink Out the Park and Fat Tire Friday. On Saturday, Utica will take on Westside 70s night with a post-game dance party. And then on Sunday, Eastside will take on Utica. Princesses and Pirates in attendance, of course, presented by Fairy Tale Entertainment on a Sunday fun day exactly a week from now. But thanks for joining us here on the USPBL YouTube channel this afternoon. It's been Leo Ortel on the call as Westside moves to 18-16 with their 6-4 win. Thanks for tuning in.